You took me and broke me down, 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 down. When you tried me through the fire, we will do things your way. Won't forsake. We will do things your way. What it do, family? What it do, what it do, what it do. If anybody is interested in the title of that song, it is called We Will Do by Lawrence. So what it do, family? Brother Judah Israel once again with another word for the listening ears of y'all's people. And just let me get this out of the way, family. Now, most of us Hebrew Israelites don't celebrate holidays and birthdays. But I must say that I do this. I am not ungrateful. I am grateful that our Father Yah has allowed me to turn another calendar this day. So because of our Father, he didn't have to do it, but he did it anyway. He allowed me to see 62 years today. So thank you, Father, for that. No celebration, just being grateful and thanking our Father for doing what he didn't have to do. Okay, family, so this one right here will be entitled Yah's Promise to Deliver All of Abraham's Seed from All Our Troubles. From all of our troubles, family. And I'll be coming out of the Sefer Bible from the book of Jasher inside of here, the book of Jasher. This book, please, if you love studying Yah's word, and it's got it in the Hebrew language and English, the Sefer Bible. You know, the Apocrypha's in here, the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilees. You got the Epistle of Jeremiah. You got all the 66 books of the Bible in here also as well. And it is such a good book to study from, family. And like I said, I'll be coming from the book of Jasher. And just to give a cap about what this is talking about. Okay, family. Now, we know that Jacob had 12 sons, and he also had a daughter named Dinah. And so this one guy, he was liking that sister, Dinah. And so instead of doing it the proper way, you go to that child's parents, and let them know you're interested in their daughter. And you do it like that. That's the proper way to do it. But Shechem, he was so smitten with Dinah, he had her taken forcefully by his people to bring her to him. And when he got her in his home, he raped her. And he was called himself smitten with her, and he loved her and stuff like that. But that's not the way how you do things, especially the Israelites, you know, because Yah had given them laws and guidelines to conduct themselves by, and to rape one of the daughters of Israel. That was defiling the marriage bed, so it was a forbidden thing, and the payment of it was for those who did something like that with an Israelite woman or girl. They were supposed to pay with their life. So Yah is really against his daughters being raped. Okay, so word got around to her brothers, and her father, Jacob. And so this guy Shechem, his dad, actually went to, Jacob and his sons and told him that his son was smitten with Dinah, and could he have her to wife. And so before the father came to talk to Jacob and the sons, they sent a couple of their servants. The Israelites Jacob sent a couple of his servants to go to talk to this Shechem, and to give me my daughter back. But the men of Shechem ran those two servants from Jacob back. So they ran back to Jacob and said that they was hostile toward us, and they wouldn't give up Dinah. So then the father Shechem's father come and talk to Jacob and his sons and tell them that his son Shechem is really fond of Dinah. He wants to marry her. So the brothers, two of the brothers came up with a plan. After they talked to their father, it was Simeon and Levi. They came up with a plan and said, okay, well, we will give our daughters to the men of Shechem to marry, and you give your daughters to the men, the Hebrew men to marry, on one condition that, because it is our custom that all men are to be circumcised. And they said the only way that they would do this, as the men of Shechem, this town, all the men circumcised themselves, and then they would allow them to have their daughters and vice versa. So the plan was, with Simeon and Levi, the two brothers, said that once they became weak, because of the pain of getting circumcised, then they would slaughter all of them. So that was their plan. So the father went back and told his son and the men of Shechem what the Israelites had said. We all must be circumcised. Most of them did it, but some of them was against it. Okay, but anyway, about 640 some men from this town, they went ahead and done it. And so that's what this is about. So Simeon and Levi went and killed all those men that circumcised themselves. Because what happened while they had Dinah, Jacob had sent two of her maids to be there with her in Shechem's home. So the Dinah heard the men of Shechem talking about this being circumcised, like the Hebrew Israelites had offered them. So the men of Shechem, they had plotted this. They say, okay, after this, we will slay all the Israelite men, all the Hebrews. So that was their plan, to kill Jacob and all his sons and all the men and the servants that they had with them. So Dinah heard them talking about this. So she sent one of her maids back to tell Jacob, her dad, and her brothers what the men of Shechem was plotting. So anyway, Simeon and Levi ended up killing all those men. And then they took the spoils. They took about 85 women, and they took about 46 girls, and all the livestock, the cattle, the sheep, and everything. And they took that stuff back to their camp, and then their father Jacob heard about it, and he was really angry at his brothers, at his sons, Simeon and Levi, for killing all those men, because they was in the land of Canaan, and Jacob was telling them that he was in good standings with all the people in the land of Canaan. Now, because you have done this, all of them going to come together to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? So Judah, the brother Yehuda, he spoke up and said that, because of our father's laws, it is, to defile the marriage bed, what they did to our sisters. Our sister, this is a very disrespectful, dishonorable thing that they did to her. And so what my brothers did is honorable under Yahuwah. So this is what our ancestor Yahuwah, Yahudim, Judah said. He was speaking up for his brothers to their father. So their father was like, he was frantic and stuff and scared, because he knew all those people in the land of Canaan was going to come together, and he thinking that they're going to destroy him and his family. And so he actually sent a servant out to go see what those nations of people were doing, and see two of the guys that the brothers did not kill, Levi and Simeon did not kill, they hid. And once they took all the livestock and the women and stuff and left, they came out of hiding, and they went back to the people in those other towns, surrounding towns, and they told them what the Hebrews had done. And so, rightfully so, they all did get together. It was 7 different nations of people in the land of Canaan, and they all got together and they vowed to destroy Jacob and his sons and all their servants and everybody with them. So this was their plan. And they mustered up an army of 10,000 men with swords and spears to come against the Israelites, the Hebrews. Okay, so what happens, you'll see, family, in this message that they advised Jacob, the sons advised Jacob, you know, pray, pray to our father Yahuwah that he will deliver us from these people, and then they sent one of the servants to go tell Isaac what was going on and tell him to also pray to our father Yahuwah that he would come against these nations of people who have gathered themselves together to destroy the Hebrews, the Israelites. And so you'll see what Isaac prayed, and you'll see what Jacob prayed, and you'll see as a result what our father Yahuwah did for the Israelites on account of what Isaac and what Jacob prayed to him. Okay, and then you'll see what happens to this large mob of 10,000 men, after Yahuwah go to work for the Israelites. It is very interesting, family, so please, you don't want to miss any of this. And this inspired me so much, because it's like, now even before I read this, sometimes I deal with evil spirits, and I know some of y'all do too. And so I said, okay, Father, I've been talking to him about this for a while, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not afraid of evil spirits, but they are just so annoying. Sometimes they keep you up at night and they just harass you and stuff, with the itching and all kind of junk. So I said, okay, Father, maybe don't take this away on my behalf, but on behalf of my ancestors, that you allow me to be part of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The ones that you call your friend, Father, that always did the right things, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, under your watch, and they always conducted themselves in a way that was pleasing to you, Father. So on behalf of our ancestors, Father, your friends, take this away from me. This annoyance, this harassment from the enemies. And your word says you give your beloved sweet sleep. Because sometimes evil spirits will keep you up at night. And so so I said, okay, on behalf of our ancestors, Father, I ask you for mercy on behalf of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, my ancestors. And I thank you for it. Let your will be done. I thank you for it, Father. Let your will be done. And after I pray, because the word of Yah says, commune your hearts upon your bed and be still. I mean, communicate with the Father in your heart. Speak to him in your heart. He hear every thought. And be still as you're doing that and see what happens. And after I prayed that prayer, I mean, the evil spirits haven't harassed me or attacked me anymore, since I asked Father to show me mercy on behalf of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he promised Abraham that he would deliver all the seed of Abraham from all of our troubles. So this should inspire all of us. What I'm finna read, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, wow, so I actually prayed the right thing before I even knew that Yah had promised this to Abraham. But he still honors, his word to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So this is what we should lean on, family. He made them promises, and we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So because of his love for them, and he was so pleased with them, he has the same love for us because we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, family. So whatever you're going through, family, hey, just say it to Father. Say to Father Yah, Father, on behalf of the ones you loved, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, do this for me. I say, Father, because I know I don't deserve you to take this away from me, because, I lived a horrible life before I was called. I was in all kinds of things, just being unlawful. Unlawful and all kind of stuff. And so, when we pray, family, let's do it on behalf of, the ones he said he loved, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hey, we all are work in progress, and so it has done me some good since I started learning how to pray like that. And I guess the Holy Spirit had given me that. Like I said, I prayed that before I even read it, that he promised to deliver us from all of our troubles. And he promised Abraham that. And then after I prayed this, then the next day, when I started reading in the book of Jasher. That's when I read what I'm going to read today, family. Okay, so without further delay, I'll start reading that the book of Jasher, chapter 34. The book of Jasher, chapter 34. From 63 to 69. Okay, and it says here, and the sons of Jacob sent to their father Isaac, the son of Abraham, to Shepher, which is Hebron. The same is Quevet Arba, saying, pray, we beseech you, for us to Yahuwah Elohim, to protect us from the hands of the Canaanites who are coming against us, and to deliver them into our hands. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, prayed to Yahuwah for his sons, and he said, this is the prayer of Isaac right here. O Yahuwah Elohim, you did promise my father, saying, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and you did also promise me and establish you your word, now that the kings of the Canaanites are coming together to make war with my children, because they committed no violence. Now therefore, O Yahuwah Elohim, the Most High of the whole earth, pervert, I pray you, the counsel of these kings, that they may not fight against my sons. And impress the hearts of these kings and their people with the terror of my sons, and bring down their pride, and that they may turn away from my sons. And with your strong hand and outstretched arm, deliver my sons and their servants from them. For power and might are in your hands to do all this. And the sons of Jacob and their servants went toward these kings, and they trusted in Yahuwah the Most High. And while they were going, Jacob their father also prayed to Yahuwah and said, now this is our ancestor Jacob praying, Abraham's son Jacob. Now he said this, O Yahuwah Elohim, powerful and exalted Elohim, who has reigned from days of old, from thence till now and forever. You are he who stirs up wars and causes them to cease. In your hand are power and might to exalt and to bring down. Oh, may my prayer be acceptable before you, that you may turn to me with your mercies to impress the hearts of these kings and their people with the terror of my sons, and terrify them and their camps, and with your great kindness deliver all those that trust in you, for it is you who can bring people under us and reduce nations under our power. Okay, verse 35 from chapter 35, from verses 1 to 25, I meant to say. Book of Jasher, chapter 35, verses 1 all the way to 25, family. Here we go. And all the kings of the Amorites came and took their stand in the field to consult with their counselors what was to be done with the sons of Jacob. For they were still afraid of them, saying, behold, two of them slew the whole of the city of Shechem. And Yahuwah heard the prayers of Isaac and Jacob, and he filled the hearts of all these kings, advisors, with great fear and terror, that they unanimously exclaimed. Now see, this is how, all we had to do is pray to him in the name of our ancestors, and watch how he performed for us. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, what's going on in the world with these nations? Donald Trump is not in control. Our Father Yahuwah is in control, family. You know what I'm saying? And he will cause these people, Psalm 83 nations, to eventually come against each other. And that's how he can bring them down as he raises up the Israelites again. As I continue, verse 3. Are you still this day? Are you silly this day? Or is there no understanding in you that you will fight with the Hebrews? And why will you take a delight in your own destruction on this day? Behold, two of them came to the city of Shechem without fear or terror, and they killed all the inhabitants of the city, that no man stood up against them. And how will you be able to fight with them all? Along with Jacob and his 12 sons. Now, Benjamin wasn't born yet. It was him and Jacob and his 11 sons, and their servants that was with them all together. It was about 120 Hebrew men going up against 10,000. These people from the land of Canaan, going up against 10,000 from the nations in the land of Canaan. But Yah was with the Israelites, the Hebrews, okay? Surely you know that their Elohim is exceedingly fond of them and has done mighty things for them, such as have not been done from days of old. And amongst all the Elohim of nations, there is none that can do like his mighty deeds. Surely he delivered their father Abraham, the Hebrew, from the hand of Nimrod, and from the hand of all his people who had many times sought to slay him. He delivered him also from the fire in which King Nimrod had cast him, and his Elohim delivered him from it. And who else can do the like? Question. Surely it was Abraham who slew the 5 kings of Elam when they had touched his brother's son, that would have been Lot, who in those days dwelt in Sodom, and took his servant that was faithful in his house and a few of his men, and they pursued the kings of Elam in one night and killed them and restored to his brother's son all his property which they had taken from him. And surely you know the Elohim of these Hebrews is much delighted with them, and they are also delighted with him. For they know that he delivered them from all their enemies. And behold, through his love toward his Elohim, Abraham took his only and precious son and intended to bring him up as an ascending smoke offering to his Elohim. See, all the people in the surrounding areas knew about the great things that Yah had done for the Israelites, for the Hebrews before. They was aware that he had led them out of Egypt. This is when his popularity became known, when he did that for the Israelites, led them out of Egypt. All the nations in the world knew that, because the word goes forth and people talk. People travel and they tell these stories everywhere they go. So all the world's nations knew who the Hebrew Israelites were, and they knew that the Most High is our Elohim. And these people in America and these nations trying to act like they don't know who we are. All the nations know who we are, and they know who our Father is. He has awakened us, and he, has let us know that, by the Ruach, that we are his chosen people. So while we was under the curses, all the nations knew this. They swore to secrecy not to tell us. But our Father, by his Ruach HaKodesh, has awakened us in these nations. And some of them still trying to hold on to the lies and save face, because they know if they admit it, then they have been lying all along about setting up these fake pagan religions and holidays and all kind of stuff, and all that stuff will have to come down. And they don't want to have to give up everything, so they hold on to the lies. But eventually, those lies that they're holding on to will lead them straight to their destruction when Yah's recompense and retribution come down against them for what they have done to the Israelites for all these centuries. As I continue, family. Okay. I'll go back up to this right here. So, and behold, this is verse 11. Book of Enoch, chapter 35, verse 11. And behold, through his love toward his Elohim, Abraham took his only and precious son and intended to bring him up as an ascending smoke offering for his Elohim. And had it not been for Elohim, who prevented him from doing this, he would then have done it through his love for his Elohim. Verse 12. And Elohim saw all his works and swore to him. Our father Yahuwah, Elohim, swore to Abraham and promised him that he would deliver his sons and all his seed from every trouble that would befall them. That includes us, family. That includes us, because Abraham, our ancestors, was so obedient to everything Yah told him to do. Yah called him his friend. Because our ancestor Abraham was so obedient, Yah loved it so much, he promised Abraham that he would deliver him and his sons and all his seed from all of our troubles. Okay, so that includes us, family. Whatever we're going through, let's remind Yah, Father, this is what you said to our ancestor Abraham. You said because of him, you would deliver us from all of our troubles. And Yah is an Elohim who honors his own word. He is an Elohim of his own word. So family, when you pray, be mindful to say to Yah things that he has already said, and he will honor his own word. And in doing so, he will honor our prayers because he made these promises to our ancestor Abraham. As I continue, family, because he had done this thing, talking about Abraham, and through his love to his Elohim, stifled his compassion for his child. He was willing to sacrifice his child because he loved Elohim so much. And Isaac was aware of it too. He was no little boy. He's about 37 years old. He was willing to die. He said, well, if this is Yah's will, if this is our Elohim's will, I'm willing to be that sacrifice. You know, if he told you that, Father, I'm willing to die. So he was also with it. So our father's love carried down from Abraham also to Isaac and Jacob. And because they are ancestors, he loved us the way he loved them. If we pray and remind him, this is what you said, Father. So it is such an awesome thing to be a part of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I thank you, Father, for making all this to be so. It was all predestined. On behalf of all of us, Father, thank you, thank you, thank you. Verse 13. And have you not heard what their Elohim did to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to Abimelech, king of Gorah, through their taking Abraham's woman, who said of her, she is my sister, lest they might slay him on account of her, and think of taking her for a woman. And Elohim did to them and their people all that you heard of. See, they reminded each other of what Elohim had done on behalf of Abraham when that king took Sarah to be his woman. And so Yah sent them angels down on that king and the people of that town, you know, and the angels were striking the people, hitting them. And the king had a dream that Elohim spoke to him and told him, give that man his wife back. That is his wife you took. That's not his sister. But actually it was his half sister, but that was married. He said, give her back, or he was going to destroy him and all the people in that town. And so the king, when he woke up in the morning, he's like telling Abraham, what have you done to me? You told me this is your sister, but this is your wife. So he gave Sarah back to Abraham. And not only that, he gave him many of his servants, handmaids and stuff, servants to take with him, gave him gold and silver, livestock, sheep, cattle, goats, and all kind of stuff, and let them go on about their business. This is how Yah blessed Abraham during the time he was alive. You know what I'm saying? So this king was so afraid, they gave the Israelites, the Hebrews, all kind of stuff. So they're just reminding each other, remember when he did that, Elohim did this for them? So Yah is turning them to fear. See, he's in control of everything, family. He's the one causing the ICE agents to not be able to do their job right. He got the people, the citizens of America stirred up. So this is Psalm 83 going against their own people. You know what I'm saying? Yah is in control of all of this. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand, you know, why come the citizens in Minneapolis won't allow the federal agents to do their job and get the illegal immigrants out of here who've been stealing billions of dollars from us. You know what I'm saying? People who understand like we do, because we're awakened, they don't understand because they don't know the ways of Yah. But it is Yah causing, he's mixing up the pot. He's mixing up the pot and he's causing, everything to just crumble. And how he's doing it is he's bringing them against each other. All those who have been oppressing his people. And they wonder why we on chill mode and ain't out in the streets with them. See, Yah is in control of everything. When we fell under the curses, family, it was Yah who caused all the nations to come against the Israelites and to sell us around the world into all nations because he was angry at what our ancestors had done. And we had to suffer the curses of that punishment. And we have done that. And now we have the Ruach again. He got us on chill mode. And now all the nations who are stacked up against us worldwide. Now all hell is breaking loose with them among each other. Yah is in control of all of that, family. Please, please stop trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? This is Yah's doing. He's raising us up as he's bringing them down. It's their turn to suffer the curses. Okay. Verse 14, book of Jasher, chapter 35, verse 14. And behold, we ourselves saw with our eyes that Esau, the brother of Jacob, came to him with 400 men with the intention of slaying him. For he called to mind that he had taken away from him his father's blessing. And he went to meet him when he came from Aram to smite the mother with the children, and who delivered him from his hand, but his Elohim, as whom he trusted. He delivered him from the hand of his brother, and also from the hand of his enemies, and surely he again will protect them. So now Laban, Jacob's father-in-law, when Jacob took Leah and he wanted, I think that was Rebecca, and he took his wife. He worked for him all those years, and so he had accumulated a lot of livestock, and he had children and stuff. So while Laban, his father-in-law, was out doing something with his animals, you know, because he wanted Jacob them to stay in his with him. But Jacob wanted to go back to see his mother and father, Abraham, and his mother, Sarah. So Jacob took his family and his servants and stuff, and they was leaving with everything. And so what happened was that when Laban came home, he sent one of his servants out to go catch up with Jacob and them. So they did that, and the servant came back and told Laban that Jacob was going toward the land of Canaan to Abraham and Sarah and them. And so, because they had been missing him they hadn't seen him in, a lot of years, And so, so the servant was telling Laban this. So Laban, he did Jacob wrong. He went and sent one of his servants to Esau and told Esau a lie that Jacob was taking his daughters and all his livestock and stuff, and when that was just not the case. Yahuwah had told Jacob to go back to Canaan around his father Abraham and his mother Sarah. So Laban had told his servant to go tell Esau that Jacob was leaving with his daughters and all his livestock and stuff. And so after Esau then was told this by one of Laban's servants, he rounded up his sons and all his servants, and so they gathered up a posse of men, about 400 of them, with swords and spears, and they're supposed to be coming to try to kill Jacob and his family and all their servants and everything. And so word got around to Jacob, the father, that this is what Esau was trying to do. And so he prayed to Father Yah, and Father Yah sent 3 angels. He sent 3 angels in the earth to go discourage Esau and those 400 men. So the 3 angels Yah sent, appeared as 4 legions of 2,000 soldiers with spears. The power of our Father. He sent 3 angels, and the angels showed up in one group as 2,000 soldiers with spears, and terrified Esau and his men. And once they showed themselves to Esau, they left, and then another one came. This happened 4 times. So they see all these soldiers and they was like, those are my brother's servants. So that terrified Esau and the 400 men that was with him, and that discouraged them about trying to meet up with Jacob and all his family and servants to kill them. So this is our Father Yah, looking out for his, his seed, So this is what he does for us when we live and walk in obedience to him. Okay. Who does not know that it was their Elohim who inspired them with strength to do the town of Shechem, the evil which you heard of? Could it then be with their own strength that 2 men could destroy such a large city as Shechem, had it not been for their Elohim in whom they trusted? He said and did to them all this to slay the inhabitants of the city in their city? And can you then prevail over them who have come forth together from your city to fight with the whole of them, even if 1,000 times as many more should come to your assistance? Surely you know and understand that you do not come to fight them, but you come to war with Elohim. And that's what a lot of these people who hate Negroes are always making videos and trying to put us down, slandering us and putting their mouth on us. And actually what they're doing, they're cursing themselves, because we are the apple of his eye. When they come against us, they're coming against our Father. That's what they're doing. So don't get in your feelings, family, when you see these videos and go back and forth with them. Let them keep on cursing themselves, okay? Because after a while, the judgments of Yah will meet them right at their doorstep, okay? All of them, eventually, going to be brought down by our Father, okay? Because he'll send his angels out to deal with them. Okay, so surely you know and understand that you do not come to fight them, but you come to war with the Elohim who made choice of them, and you have therefore all come to this day to be destroyed. And now therefore refrain from this evil which you are endeavoring to bring upon yourselves, and it will be better for you not to go to battle with them, although they are but few in numbers, because their Elohim is with them. See, they was coming to kill, a fight against Jacob and his father and his brothers. You know what I'm saying? They was 10,000 strong first, but after Isaac and Jacob prayed to Yahuwah, now Yah is causing them to feel discouraged and fear. You see, he's in control. He's in full control, family. Not these leaders in these nations with their weapons and with their rhetoric. They don't run nothing. Yah is in control, family. I don't even pay no attention to politicians and all that mess they talking. You know what I'm saying? All those seats is just a front for criminal activity. You know, the chief of police seat, the congressmen and congresswoman seats, the mayoral seats, the governor's seat, the president's seat, and they all be campaigning, want people to vote for them so they can get that seat. It's only a front for criminal activity. That's all it is. That's all it is. They ain't gonna do nothing for you. They just want that seat. They get that seat, oh, they'd join the good old boys club. And they can do all the illegal stuff they want to. But they got that seat, and that's a front for their criminal activity. That's right, I said it. They all criminals. Look at our president, convicted of 34 felonies. Did he go to jail? No, he was elected president again. He's protected because of that seat, you know. And all the rest of them. Chief of police, you know what I'm saying? How can the chief of police and the governor of the state of Minnesota be against the federal officers who were sent here to do a job by getting these crooked, defrauding immigrants out of our country who've been stealing us, you know, for billions of dollars, robbing us blind, and they sent to kick these illegals out, but you got American citizens who don't know that the mayor and the police chief and the governor are just criminals themselves. They know all that criminal activity is going on. They knew it. They all got a cut. You best believe they all got their cut. And they turned a blind eye and act like they didn't know what was going on. And now they're trying to turn the citizens against the federal agents because the citizens are naive. They don't know the criminal activity the police and the governor and the mayor them are involved in. So the leaders got the citizens inciting these riots against the federal officers. Mass confusion. But Yah said in this word that he was going to turn Israel's enemies against each other. And that's exactly what he's doing. And it's just going to continue until they're destroyed. But not just in Minnesota. This is going to be throughout the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Their reign is done, family. Their reign is done. You got United States, you know, turn to piracy, overtaking vessels from other countries, trying to steal oil. They desperate. They're at the end of their reign. That's what's going on. And when the kings of the Amorites heard of the words of their advisors, their hearts were filled with terror, and they were afraid of the sons of Jacob and would not fight against them. And they inclined their ears to the words of their advisors, and they listened to all their words, and the words of the counselors greatly pleased the kings, and they did so. And the kings turned and refrained from the sons of Jacob, and for they dared not approach them to make war with them. At first they was 10,000 strong, ready to go fight. But after Isaac and Jacob prayed to our father Yahuwah, he discouraged them, all of them. Now they having second thoughts. And eventually they're going to leave and go home. But as I continue, for they were greatly afraid of them, and their hearts melted within them from their fear of them. For this proceeded from Yahuwah to them. For he heard the prayers of his servants Isaac and Jacob. For they trusted in him. And all these kings returned with their camps on that day, each of his own city, and they did not at that time fight with the sons of Jacob. And the sons of Jacob kept their station that day till evening opposite Mount Criton. And seeing that these kings did not come to fight against them, the sons of Jacob returned home. You see, family, our Father, his love for our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and because they were so obedient and did everything, he asked them to do. They never doubted. When he told them to do something, they jumped right to it. And because of his relationship with our ancestors, Father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yah promised Abraham that because he was so obedient, and Elohim saw all his works, talking about Abraham, and swore to him and promised him that he would deliver his sons and all of his seed from every trouble that would befall them. That means you and me, family. We are the offspring. We are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So please, family, watch the whole video. Watch it more than once if you got to, okay? So family, I'm just going to end right here and say that I am Brother Judah Israel. This has been Yah's promise to deliver all of Abraham's seed from all of our troubles. I hope you got some understanding in Yah's precious name. So until next time, and Yah bless you, your family, stay safe, on love, and shalom.